Welcome to That 30 Show, a podcast where we talk about the good, the bad, and the surprising parts of our 30s. I'm G, and I'm finally 30. I'm excited to find out if 30 really is the new 20, because if it is, then the best years are yet to come.
And I'm David. I'm entering my mid-30s. I used to have no back pain or trouble sleeping, but now I live off a healthy diet of self-help books and dream of being in bed by 10 p.m. every night. Join us each week as we try to figure out together what life in your 30s is all about.
Welcome back to That 30 Show. Welcome back to me.
Oh my god, it's so nice to hear your voice again, G. I think everyone agrees.
Back. I'm back. 30 and flirty and thriving. Well, like half thriving. Are
you thriving? Because I don't know. You don't look the best right now. What's going on? You agreed to record at 8 a.m. Did you? I thought mornings are your thing.
Usually yes, but I went out for a little bit of a belated birthday celebration last night with a few friends that I haven't seen because I was on vacation, and the night was pretty late.
They took you out.
Yeah. So
I take no responsibility. I was like, do you want to record at any time on Saturday or at 8 a.m. on Sunday? Because I have things the rest of the day. And you're like, 8 a.m. I'm like, okay, if you're okay with it.
Yeah, I was very overambitious. Every year I like to use the phrase 1 year older, none the wiser. And I think that's it's very fitting today.
I mean, I think we haven't had a chat for a while now, and you're like half asleep, and you just came back from your vacation like a week ago. So we're just going to chill because like the last couple episodes, they were deep, man. Yeah, there were some like moments there. So let's just take it easy.
Some deep topics.
This is what happens, G, when you leave me. When you leave, this podcast just goes diving into the fucking like...
the deep end.
I don't want to... Because I don't know Olivia like that well, so I don't want to assume, but like I feel like I'm like Olivia. I'm like the sad bitch. So if you leave me alone, I'm gonna become a celebration of sadness.
Well, I'm back, so we're gonna have fun today because I have some fun stories to share from my travels.
Did you actually take notes or anything about like things you want?
I did take notes. So like as we were on our trip, like if something random that was funny happened, I would put it into my notes app. But now looking back on it, a lot of these, you kind of had to be there. Like it's not so funny now that I'm explaining it, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see. I'll pretend to find it funny.
Yeah.
Was there anything like particularly fun that happened last night for your birthday?
Well, we were just out at a bar, and it was actually the bar's anniversary, like birthday as well, so they were doing like this big birthday celebration, and so I just pretended that it was for me.
Yours. I was gonna say they stole your spotlight, but really you stole their spotlight.
Yeah, like they had all the happy birthday signs and stuff like that, so I was like taking pictures by it and just pretending that it's all for me. So
that's actually so funny. Like you go into the bar and then there's all these signs, happy and you're like, oh my god, is that for me?
Yeah. So it's super fun.
Let's do a trip recap and hear some fun stories. Where do you want to start?
I'll touch on the fun things that we did, but I feel like usually people like to hear about random things that have strippers.
Because it's a bachelor party. That's why I'm.
Oh, it is a bachelor, but I feel like people like hearing about things that went wrong on a trip because it's things are funny like that. But I mean, for our trip, we started out in Bali in an area called Seminyak, which is like kind of like a hustle bustle area. So this was the start of like a bachelorette party. Bali is beautiful, but the streets are just crazy. Like there's no pedestrian sidewalks. You're basically walking with the traffic. I mean, what would be one lane in Vancouver is 2 lanes in Bali, basically.
I think about that all the time because I used to live in Hong Kong. I've traveled in Asia a little bit. And this is par on course, right? For a lot of these Asian countries or developing countries.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think about that when I'm stuck in a traffic jam and it's like a single lane and I'm looking at all that space. I'm like, yo, Indians, there'd be 3-lane traffic right now.
Yeah.
Not just Indians. I'm just, specifically, but like,
yeah.
If it's Thailand people, 3 lanes right now. But like, we're just stuck one single lane on this giant road.
I was just pretty shocked at like how many cars could fit. I'm like, there's no way another car or like another motorbike could fit there. They just come up and there's no accidents. I even asked one of the drivers, I was like, are there a lot of accidents? He's like, no, we just know how to drive like this and we're used to it. So that was kind of a shock for me, actually, because I haven't really been to Asia. So
so you haven't really experienced traffic like that before?
Yeah, like when I was younger, when I was living in China, but not really. But yeah, I mean, we had a really nice villa. Like the villas in Bali are pretty reasonably priced. So if you go with a big group of friends, you could get like a really nice villa with a pool for relatively cheap.
But what about if I go with my mom?
If you go with your mom, well, there's a ton of nice hotels because, you know, there's a lot of travelers, obviously. Bali in general is just a very cheap country to go and visit.
What, like, I'm like only half joking with this question, but like, what's the verdict? Like, could I go with my mom?
Yeah, you could go with your mom.
There isn't anything overtly like with the vibe of it that would make it, because you guys are all like young people, right? And so even if it's, I don't know, like, is it weird if I go with?
No, not at all. I think we obviously didn't, because you hear a lot about people going to Bali for like their honeymoon or like couples going. I mean, we didn't really experience that, like the romantic side of it. We checked out a lot of cool coffee shops. We went to some bars. We went on like day trips, excursions, that kind of thing to go see some other islands nearby. But I didn't find it like very romantic. So yeah, I mean, depending on what you want to do, suitable for all. In that area that we stayed at, it's pretty like hip, I guess. So there's cute little cafes that we would check out. We went for a lot of massages, like maybe once a day or once every other day, because they're just so cheap.
They're super cheap, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm imagining Thailand. Like Thailand also has really cheap massages.
Yeah, we'll like go to the coffee shop in the morning and then we're like, hey, what should we do for the rest of the day? And we're like, should we just go get a massage? Like there's massage parlors everywhere and you just go.
What kind of, do you get like the foot massage?
You can get a foot massage. You can get a facial. You can get like a back massage.
What's your favorite type of place to be massaged? Is that a weird question? I don't know. Because for me, I cannot. I think I've had a foot massage once in my life, and it was so ticklish. I'm like, how do people stand this? This is not comfortable at all. Lots of people love foot massages.
I'm not ticklish on my feet.
Okay.
Like
the sole of your feet, like
yeah. A fun fact. Maybe I don't have nerve endings there. I don't know. Actually, my favorite types of massages are head massages. Those are amazing. We went to this place where we actually got our hair washed too, and it was the best.
I've never had a head massage like specific head massage, but certainly when I go have my haircut, my barber will wash my hair, and then and so that's my only experience, because when they wash your hair at the barber shop, they do a bit of a massage, and those 3 minutes are fucking heaven for me.
The best feeling, right? Yeah,
so good.
Yeah,
I don't know what's like. I always think if I ever become fucking rich, I'm going to have a personal barber. I'm going to have one of these sinks in my home, and I'm just going to have someone wash my hair every day. That would increase my quality of life for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what we did. We took our bachelorette for like a night out just to celebrate. The nightlife it's okay. Maybe we didn't hit up like all the great spots. I feel like we wanted to go out more in the evenings, but we were just doing so much during the day that like we were dead by the evenings, and then the cycle kind of continues.
This is not what your Vegas trips used to sound like.
I know.
You getting old? Are you guys getting old?
Oh my gosh. Are we?
Your batteries are running out? Because like when you told me about your trips 5-6 years ago, it sounds like you guys...
Okay, well, we wanted to do like a lot of the day excursions. And for that to happen, you kind of have to like sleep early the night before, because you'd have to leave by like 5 or 6 a.m. because the travel time is so long. And then after an entire day of excursioning, you get home and you're so tired. So, but maybe it is a result of us getting old. That's so sad. Now I want to go. Now I want to go and do an excursion and still go out at night just to prove that I still can.
Yeah, No, I'm just teasing. I'm sure I'm sure you guys are fine. But I'm curious, like as a bachelorette group, like a bunch of girls, partying up. If you're doing that in Vegas, you'll get, I don't know, some attention, some uninvited.
Oh, we didn't get any attention. I put because we reserved a table for our friend, and I kind of wrote like, well, this is for like a bachelorette party. Is there anything like special that you guys can do? They literally came back was like, no specials. Please see our website. And I was like, okay, well, it's like a special occasion. So can you guys maybe seat us at a nice location in the club? Or because, they have like signs and stuff. Can you hold up something fancy? Nothing. They didn't sit us in a nice area. They're just like, okay, whatever. It's bachelor. Who cares? Maybe there's a lot of bachelorette parties that happen there. I don't know. We didn't see anyone when we were there, but it's just so funny that
I can imagine the culture in those sort of countries might just be like patrons and guests and customers are not as entitled to things as maybe in Western society.
Maybe, or maybe bachelorette parties are not a thing. I don't know, so not like, a thing.
What is this?
Yeah.
Like,
no specials, no deals.
Yeah, no helium balloons that tied to my table.
Yeah, no.
Did you meet any locals like along the way in terms of any interesting, not meet cutes, but
A lot of the people that we met were like our drivers. They were the ones who, showed us around, told us kind of about the culture and things like that as they're taking us to places. Other than that, I feel like we kind of went to a lot of touristy places. So we didn't meet very many locals. There's a ton of Australians in Bali. I didn't realize until I got there that a flight to Australia is only about an hour. Like someone told me that. I was like, oh, really had I known, I would have maybe gone to Australia too.
That just helps me understand how far Bali is from the West Coast.
Yeah.
Because I know like West Coast or Vancouver to Australia is one of the longest trips you can take. There's no direct flights to Bali. We had to go to Singapore, and the flight from Vancouver to Singapore was 16 hours. Yeah.
And then there was a bit of a layover, and then we had another 3 hours to get to Bali. So it is far.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of time zones. So, so you were saying about like misadventures and like, you had to stay alive while walking along traffic.
And the heat is like, so as soon as you get out of the airport, basically you are suffocating. That's how I felt. I was like suffocated in this heat bubble, and it's hard to breathe.
Because it's the humidity too, right?
It's the humidity.
It's not just the heat, it's the humidity.
Well, I think I'm just,
Do you have
spoiled.
Being in those environments? Because you said you lived in China before.
But I don't really remember. I think I've just been so spoiled with Vancouver air that I'm just so not used to going anywhere that's like humid and hot. Yeah. So we kind of got used to it, but it was an adjustment for sure.
You're just sweating all the time and it just feels gross, right?
Yeah, there's like no amount of showers that you can take that will actually make you feel clean. Because as soon as you get out of the shower in the AC, you're back to like sweating.
That's one of my big problems with Hong Kong, which is where my family's from and where I used to live for a bit. I would just come out of the shower and unless the AC's on, even if it's not super hot, I would just be sweaty within 5 minutes. And I'm just like, what's the point? I need another shower immediately.
Yeah. Well, and it was so funny because in one of our villas, we actually could get people to come to our villa to give us a massage. So not only are we spoiled with massages everywhere, you can actually get people to come to your villa and give you massages. So all of our rooms are like blasting AC, right? Because we are just like, we need the air and we need the cold. So the massage ladies walk in and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so cold. And we're like, really? And then we had to explain that we were from Canada, but I think the ladies were actually freezing. So
that's actually so funny. Like you're like super reinforcing this stereotype that Canada is this frozen wasteland. People who aren't from Canada, like they think Canada is this like frozen, cold, Arctic polar bears are everywhere. There's igloos around. You didn't help that stereotype.
I know. I stereotyped us. The food in Bali, I was quite disappointed.
What is Bali cuisine? I have no idea. So Bali
Well-
is in the Philippines, right? No.
Bali is in
Bali
Indonesia.
So make sure you edit that out. So
Bali is an island.
Is a city
It's an island
in
Indonesia. So
Indonesia.
yeah. So
trivia is not my strong. Sorry, geography is not my strong suit when it comes to trivia.
Well, so many people just say Bali, right? Like they never say, "Oh, I'm going to like
exactly.
Indonesia." A lot of people go to
You could
Bali.
have told me that. Oh, David, Bali's its own fucking country. You dumb wit, and I'd be like, oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize.
I mean, yeah. So Indonesian food. I mean, it's a lot of like fried rice dishes, like fried noodles, mee goreng. Have you ever had mee goreng? Like the packaged noodles? Yeah, that's like Indonesian. Okay. But I was just so sick of eating mee goreng by the end of the trip. Like, you know, a lot of the things like skewers and things like that, we were just kind of a bit sketched out to eat it because we didn't want to get sick.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't actually eat like that much of the local food because we were a bit nervous too. And so as a result of that, we kept making this joke that we were eating to survive.
You know, how you're like, oh, I'm so sick of mee goreng. I think that's pretty common for traveling, at least in my experience. Like, for example, when I was traveling in Mexico before, I remember when I got back, I'm like, enough fucking tacos for the rest of my life. Like, no more tacos.
Yeah.
And then even when I went to Europe or I think I was in like Austria or something, and then their local dish is some sort of like meat dish, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're first going like, ooh, let's eat this local cuisine.
Yeah.
And then you eat it. And then the second day you eat it, and you're like, okay, where can I get like some like gailan? Like something I find that I have trouble with most places I travel to is that it's so hard to eat vegetables.
Yes.
Like we're always at a vegetable deficit when I travel.
That is like on my list because in Vancouver, I eat a lot of raw vegetables like salad mixes or like those leafy greens. When I'm traveling, I get like nervous to eat, you know, raw stuff because I don't want to be sick. But even like cooked vegetables, it was hard to find in both Bali and the Philippines, but even more so in the Philippines. Like I was traveling with one of my friends who's Filipino and she was like, yeah, we don't really eat vegetables here. So I was like, oh my God, where can we get some vegetables? Yeah. Overall, Bali was fun. My friend said she had a really great time on our bachelorette trip.
Yay.
So yeah.
This is not Olivia, right?
The most important thing. This is Olivia.
Oh, okay. Well, listeners know sad.
Right.
Got her bachelorette party. Hopefully she wasn't too sad during the bachelorette party.
No, it's just so funny. I mean, I don't want to like go off and talk about Olivia, but it's so interesting because like if she hadn't said that she's like sad bitch vibes, she's such a fun and perky gal. So
I'm sure there's more to her than I'm just teasing because she said that about herself and it's like a funny sort of tagline. Yeah. So Olivia, no love lost when I call you that.
One thing that was actually really funny also was, so you see like all these videos of Instagram versus reality of Bali in particular, I think, because they have like the Bali swings. I don't know if you've ever seen those. Like it's like this huge swing in the middle of the forest, or temples that are so gorgeous. And we really witnessed the reality side of all those places because it's so funny. You have the swing and usually in the picture, the girl is like, you know, swinging up really high and it's like gorgeous. But then when you go in reality, there's like, first of all, there's a huge line for everything. And then the little Bali men are just like hanging on to the swing, like swinging with you. It's super funny to see.
That's one of my favorite memes, I have to say. That meme where like you have that song and it's like upbeat and stuff. And then when you cut to the reality and then the song goes into like a recorder mode.
Yeah.
That's one of my all-time favorite memes. I love it. I love it so much. I am all for it because I have that like personal, not gripe, but like, no, I hate how curated social media is. It's so fucking fake. Mm-hmm. I hate fake stuff. Mm-hmm. And so like, that's actually so funny. That amuses me to no end.
Yeah, there's this picture that I'll have to show you afterwards. It's like of a temple and it looks like there's water there. So it looks like the temple has a reflection. And in real life, I think they use a mirror. Like they hold up a mirror to the camera lens so that there's a reflection there. So it was just quite funny to see everything. So that was kind of a recap of Bali. And then we kind of split off. Like, not everyone from the bachelorette trip went to this next portion, which was the Philippines.
Which is your birthday party.
Which was kind of like my birthday portion. I got a lot of people like asking why I chose the Philippines. I think it was because we wanted to look for, you know, a place that was relatively close by. And also, you know, I just love the water, and the Philippines apparently has like really great diving. I didn't even end up going diving in the Philippines. I did end up going diving in Bali. Oh, that was an experience. I should probably share this. So I went by myself because none of my other friends dive. So I woke up early and went with this like group over to one of the islands. First of all, it's really sad because when you get underwater, there's a ton of garbage like underwater. It's just really kind of like sad to see. I'm literally diving and there's like plastic bags like in front of me. It was kind of awful.
That's sad, for sure. My reaction is that's gross.
No.
When I think of diving, I don't think about diving among garbage. I think about diving among giant sea turtles and coral reefs.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever gone diving, and just everywhere was just litter. It was pretty wild to see, actually. But on that trip, I get motion sickness really easily, which is super unfair, I think, because I love water activities. I love going scuba diving. I love snorkeling, and yet I get so seasick.
I want to say like it can't be that bad because you literally sign yourself up to live on a boat for a week in the Bahamas.
That trip was surprisingly okay, but I think it was because I took very strong anti-nausea medication, like medication that I can't get here in Canada. I had to drive to the States to go get it because
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
They don't actually even sell it in Canada. I did basically like everything that I could. I wore like the sea bands that's supposed to help with nausea, and I did like basically everything that I could.
Prepare for that, but not the one day in Bali.
Not the one day in Bali. That was the first time I actually like got sick from being nauseous. Like, me and this other girl were just hovering over the boat, just sick the entire time we were out of the water. And then they're like, okay, now it's time to get in the water. And I was like, oh my God, we didn't go on our second dive. There were 3 dives in total.
Yeah,
we didn't
because
go
if
on
you're
our
feeling
second.
nauseous,
Mm-hmm.
you can't throw up if you're diving.
You know what? A lot of people actually throw up underwater.
So you just take the oxygen.
Well, I think they throw
off?
up into their regulators.
Oh, just stop. I can't.
And then they clear it. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how diving equipment works, but that sounds absolutely
it is awful.
Disgusting.
Yeah. So
but is that why you didn't go dive the second time? Because you didn't want to.
The second time the other girl and I, we really just could not. Like, we couldn't even stand. So they're like, okay, how about we drive you up to a beach and you guys can rest there while the others dive? And we're like, okay. So literally we are in our wetsuits, lying on the beach in 40-degree weather. I feel like we probably look like seals, you know, like just like lying there. And neither of us could move. We're like green in the face. We couldn't move. We're lying on the beach, and all the tourists are walking by us, like looking. I feel like they probably wanted to do like the little kick, like to see if we're alive, like kick. Because imagine like everyone is in their bathing suits because it's so hot. They're sweating, and we are literally like covered from head to toe in like neoprene and just lying on the beach because we couldn't even move to like take our suits off.
But I guess at that point you're too like sick to feel self-conscious, right?
Well, not even self-conscious. We just didn't even feel like the heat. I felt like our bodies were in such like fight or flight mode that we didn't even feel warm or sweaty. We're just trying to like calm down. So anyways, ended up going on the third dive though, and the third dive was like amazing. We're so glad that we actually felt okay enough. And then after the third dive, I came back up and, you know, we threw up again. So it was like, diving is always bittersweet for me because if I'm not nauseous, it would be the greatest experience ever. But because I am, I always like get a little bit hesitant before I go out because I know that it's going to be like really tough at first, but it's worth it for me.
This is like my friends who are lactose intolerant and yet they fucking love dessert and ice cream. So you know, like,
Yeah.
do you have, I don't know if are you lactose intolerant?
I think I'm like
Like,
lactose
maybe a little
sensitive.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, yeah, you know, like it's pretty common, especially for Chinese people.
Yeah.
And then it's like this thing that they love the dessert and stuff, but then they
Yeah.
have to prepare for, they're like, yeah, I know after this, I'm going to be like 10 hours of stomach unrest, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
That's
Like for
really
me,
stupid.
diving, the juice is worth the squeeze, but it's a bit of a challenge. But anyways, that's my diving story. Going back to after Bali, we went to the Philippines. So we went to two places. One was Cebu, which is the second largest city in the Philippines after Manila. And then we went to Boracay, which is like a complete like tourist island where it's like white fine sand that you see in like
Ooh.
advertisements. And the water is like the crystal blue, like turquoise blue gradient,
Wow.
palm trees. So we were in Cebu, and in Cebu, you can take like a 3-hour drive to a place called Mobile, which is where you can see the famous sardine run. So we did that, which was super cool. And then you can also go canyoneering there, which I didn't actually really know what it was.
I think I know what that means because I understand English, but I've never heard of that word canyon, like canyoneering. Like I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, so that's like a thing. I don't know. It's probably not only in the Philippines, but like it's a pretty popular thing to do when you're in Cebu and Mobile.
Oh.
So we were like, okay, well, we have to go do it. I'd seen some videos and I thought that it was just like you go up to, because, you know, you're going in a canyon, obviously. And I thought it was going up to a bunch of like cliffs and jumping down into the water. Because those are the videos that I've seen. So I was like, and they kept saying like, it's going to take 5 to 6 hours. It's going to take 5 to 6 hours. I was like, okay, but like if we get bored of it, we can just like leave. No, you are like hiking and swimming and jumping through this canyon. Like it's a 5-hour trek through the canyon, and you are hiking on these rocks. And then at some points, like all the rocks are underwater. So you got to swim, like you got to swim through. And then
How does
sometimes
it work for your equipment in terms of what you're wearing and shoes and stuff?
We all wore like leggings because we heard from like tips and tricks that you should probably wear like long pants because you don't want to get your legs all scraped up and things like that. They gave us some water shoes because the rocks actually get pretty slippery. And you wear a helmet too. Like,
how do you transition from not water to water if you're going? Are you changing at all?
No. So a lot of people just wear like their bathing suits throughout this entire thing.
That's hardcore.
We wore like long pants and you have a life jacket. Basically.
Nature's obstacle course almost for 5 hours.
Yeah, kind of. I was not expecting to hike. Like I thought we, you know, I was just not prepared to do all the hiking. I thought
Do you like hiking?
I do. I just was not expecting it, I guess.
This was not on your birthday though.
This was not on my birthday. This was the day before my birthday. So that whole day was that whole day was an event because in the morning we did the sardine run, which that was super cool. Like I think that was one of my favorite things on the trip.
I don't know. You gotta like try your best to visualize it for me. Like, because I have you said the famous sardine run and I just thought it was so funny because just me being ignorant, but I don't know what this is. But like the fact that you slapped the word famous on top of it makes it sound like this is like a thing. It's
a famous thing to do, kind of like, again, in the Philippines in this specific area. But you can see it's like thousands of sardines and it's really close to the shore. So you don't have to go far at all. Like you don't have to go diving to see this sardine run. You basically just swim out a little bit and then you see thousands of sardines doing this like, I don't know.
The
like
swimming thing?
Yeah. Swimming formation, I guess.
Oh.
So it's
is it like in like Finding Nemo? Like you see the school of fish and they're like all grouped together and they swim up as a pack? Is that it? Yeah, kind of, but it's like thousands of fish all in one pack, right? Like you don't really see that often. So yeah, damn, that's cool.
Yeah, so a lot of people get these.
If we had an Instagram, we could post a photo of this famous sardine run.
I could, yeah.
Do you have a photo of it?
I have a video of it because it's hard to get a photo. But one thing we also did not know while we were doing that was that it was jellyfish season. So we got stung by so many jellyfish. for me, probably like at least a dozen jellyfish. It was so painful. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone's in the swimming suits and you're all in the water. Do you look like a sardine run?
We all have like life jackets on and everything.
But you're in the water, fully immersed.
You're in the water.
And there's jellyfish everywhere.
There's jellyfish everywhere. So the guide,
terrifying.
the guide was trying to bring us like along the water because there's a lot of cool stuff to see. Like if you're just snorkeling, you can see a lot of like corals and tropical fish. We were looking for a turtle. But there were so many jellyfish. And I think the first time I got stung, I didn't know what was happening. Like I just felt my entire body kind of go numb. And I was like, what is happening to me right now? And then the guy beside me, because there's like a bunch of people in the water, right? And the guy beside me was like, there's a lot of jellyfish in here, like just to let you know. And I was like, holy like shit, I just got stung by a jellyfish. And I was like freaking out because I don't know what happens when you get stung by a jellyfish. And then more started stinging me. And I was like, oh my God, they're trying to.
The day before your birthday again. I just wanted.
This is the day before my birthday. This is the day before.
I'm curious what happened on your birthday, but yeah. So what happens when the jellyfish stings you? I don't know. You don't die obviously because you're here, but.
Well, it really freaking hurts. First of all, it's like we all had these huge welts immediately start to develop on our body. It's probably just a super funny sight to see. Like if anyone was like looking out into the water, because the guide's like trying to take us looking for turtles, and we're just like screaming the entire time because we're just getting stung.
Wait, so like it's beyond it being painful. Like, was there a danger there at all?
Well, so I looked it up on Google, and
after you survived,
after we survived, and obviously they're gonna tell us that like you might die from a jellyfish sting, as they do with everything that you put into Google. I think the poisonous jellyfish are like mainly in Australia, so
which is only a 1 hour flight away.
specific type but like the guides were all getting stung too. They just dealt with it, like their faces were getting stung. So some of them feel like a needle prick, which is not that bad. Some of them actually legit feel like a bee sting. So it depends on, I guess, like the size of the jellyfish. So yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah, like now whenever I hate when you have icebreakers and like, tell us an interesting fact. Maybe you don't struggle with this, but every time I get asked that, it's like an existential crisis. It's like, what can I think of one interesting thing for me? But for you got a really good one. You're like, hey, I've been stung by 12 jellyfish in a row.
Yeah.
Or like if you play like a drinking game, like never have I ever been stung by 12 jellyfish.
Yeah.
Not even just one. It's like 12.
I mean, the jellyfish were like tiny, so you couldn't even see them. They're like the size of they're the tiny ones.
How big are they? I'm imagining like the jellyfish at the Vancouver aquarium.
You can't avoid them. They're like, first of all, they're everywhere, and then they're not the ones like the ones at the Vancouver aquarium. They're the size of about a little like tropical fish, I want to say, kind of like a little Nemo. Not even that big.
Okay.
It's very tiny, and you can't really see them because they're translucent.
Oh wow.
So it's cool to see, but it's very painful to experience. And when we got back on land, like they poured white vinegar all over us, so we were like in pain and smelly. And then we went to canyoneering.
What a day. Holy crap.
Yeah. And then we went 5-6 hours canyoneering, jumping off cliffs. That was like one of the things so I'm like terrified of heights. And so that was my doing the uncomfortable thing on that trip, because I jumped from cliffs. I didn't do the final one, which was 10 meters. I really chickened out there, but I did the 5 meter one. I did the 7 meter one. Wow. And that was definitely outside my comfort zone. There were also a couple jumps where you like turn around and then you like basically fall into the water backwards.
Oh, wow.
It's like, yeah.
I think I'd be pretty scared.
Are you scared of heights?
No, the part that scares me is, I guess it's safe because otherwise they wouldn't do it. But the part that scares me is if I would hit like rocks when I land or something. If I know for sure I'm landing into just a body of water, I don't think I'd be as scared.
Yeah,
because I'm in a natural environment. But it's safe in that respect. Yeah,
because like you have to jump off to be able to like get to the next portion of the canyon. So everyone has to do it, and it's I think it's completely safe. It's probably very deep.
Okay.
And you're also wearing a helmet. You got your life jacket.
I'm not scared of heights if there isn't any perceived danger there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So like in that case, if I've assessed like factually, objectively, this is a safe thing, then I'm like, I'm okay. But like if I'm on a suspension bridge, right, And it's not about like, oh, this is suspension bridge is not safe. But if I feel like I can easily just be nudged and pushed and I'll like fall over the edge of it, then I'll be like, I'll be freaking terrified.
Oh, okay. Okay. So like it has to be vetted and like basically safety measures in place.
Yeah. If it's really high, but I know I'm safe, it's fine. But if it's even remotely unsafe, then I'm not. I'm
just scared of heights. Like I get vertigo if I look down. So that all happened the day before my birthday. So big
that sounds like it would have
day.
Been a very memorable birthday, but hopefully you still had a memorable birthday.
I still had a memorable birthday. Yeah. So the next day was my birthday. And then we had to, make the trek back to the city, which was 3 hours away. And the tour guide actually stopped along the way. We went to a little, like very local little shack or market. And we had like the best. Do you know what lechon is?
No.
So it's basically like roasted pig. It was, delicious. I think that was the best meal probably I've ever had on the trip, maybe. So that was in the morning. Then we headed back into the city to check into our Airbnb. And when we got there, the Airbnb was disgusting, first of all. So no toilet paper. The mattress is on the floor.
Did this not show up in the photos when you guys booked it?
Okay, so there was a photo of the mattress being on the floor, but the way that they took the picture, it did not look like the pictures. Okay, the pictures looked a lot better. Otherwise, we wouldn't have booked it. The pictures looked a lot better than what was actually.
Your entire trip, including this Airbnb, was just a series of that TikTok meme where it's like reality versus Instagram.
Yeah, Airbnb official photos versus reality.
Yeah.
But like when we got in, like the counters, there was streaks on it, like suspicious streaks. There's like kitchen utensils like out. Like I said, no toilet paper. My friend held up like the towels that they gave us, and it was like it didn't move. It was crusty.
What?
Like,
oh my god.
Yeah, and like several towels were kind of stuck together.
I feel like you guys should have played like a drinking game. It's like whoever loses has to use that towel you showered.
There was like suspicious stains on the toilets. It was just dirty. It was not nice. So we basically all sat down and were like, okay, should we just leave? Like,
what's the rating on this Airbnb posting? I don't get it. Why would you guys book it if it's so bad?
There was 2 reviews. One just said like, I don't know, it was okay. And one was like, we couldn't get a hold of the owner or something like that.
There weren't a lot of reviews. Like usually when I book Airbnb, I'm booking one with at least like 20, 30 reviews.
Yeah. There weren't a lot of reviews. I don't know why we even booked that one. I think it was just found one that was kind of central. Yeah. Right. So we're like, okay, we're not staying here for my birthday, your birthday. We basically immediately tried to look for another place. And it was just so funny that all of us like agreed that we wanted to do that. Like regardless of how much it was going to cost, we all agreed that was what we were going to do. Yeah. So basically we checked out of the place like after 30 minutes. It was so funny because when we went to go to reception to give our keys back, the girl like did not ask us any questions. She was just like, okay, thanks. I'm like, does this happen often?
Yeah.
Why was she so nonchalant about it?
That's probably what's going on. You're not the first ones to do that.
Yeah. Anyways, so I went through like Airbnb and I went through like everything. We didn't get our money back was the bottom line. So we booked a hotel. Hey guys, Editing G here. Just wanted to pop on and let you know that I'm going to be talking about a tragic event involving an animal. So just be warned. I didn't give poor David a warning. So just wanted to let you guys know. All right, back to the show. Thanks for listening. And something that was like kind of traumatizing. We were waiting for our ride to get to the hotel, and we watched a kitten get run over.
You gotta prepare me for these things, okay?
It was
what? Oh my God.
It was very sad. So So this street is pretty busy. It's not a highway, but everyone's going like fairly fast. We just saw a kitten like in the middle of the road, and we're like, oh my gosh, like it's so cute, whatever. And I just immediately turned around because I knew that there was not going to be like a good outcome to this. So I turned around. And as soon as I turned around, I saw the other three girls' faces like just drop like in shock because I guess like as soon as I turned around.
So you didn't actually see it get run over?
I didn't see it, but
you saw the corpse when you turned around.
Everyone else, I didn't turn around after that. I didn't look.
You didn't even look at the corpse?
No. So that was kind of sad. It was like
This is not a very auspicious birthday. You got a shitty ass Airbnb. You got a kitten being murdered by a truck.
Hey, I had really good roasted pork. So, I mean, the day kind of turned around after we got to the hotel. Like the hotel was so nice. Like we were just in the hotel.
You get what you pay for, I guess.
Yeah, we sat in the hotel room because we got a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom hotel. Wow. And we were sitting there and we're like, wow, like what a difference. We were just so grateful for this like hotel that because we just kind of came from such a
that's the thing. Like, when you have misadventures on vacations, what's the worst that can happen? You just have to spend a bit more money. Money can solve all problems.
Yeah, it was just such like felt just so grateful that we have like the means to be able to like just leave that situation, spend money and get ourselves like a really nice hotel. Oh, another funny story. We were at the reception waiting for the hotel and he had just come from Mobile, which is the whole canyoneering sardine stuff. It's near the ocean. And the reception asked my friend who was checking in and they're like, did you just come from Mobile? And we're like, yes. How did you know? That's so specific. And then they're like, yeah, we can smell it. We were so offended because none of us.
This was the next day already, though.
It was the next day.
Like
we had showered. We had put on fresh clothes. Like I was like, the poor people that we've interacted with like all day. I didn't think we had any smells, but obviously we couldn't smell it. Maybe. I'm like, what does Mobile even smell like?
Maybe it's like jellyfish things. Like it makes you smell bad when you get stung by a jellyfish.
I don't know, but we were just
that's so funny.
Shocked that first of all reception would say like we are hotel guests. I don't know why they would say that. But it was a very humbling moment. We can
smell it on you. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So like, were you super self-conscious then? Like, how did you do the rest of the day? Because you're like, oh, I don't want to walk around smelling like.
Oh yeah, and it was just crazy because Mobile is one area. It was just so funny that they could pinpoint that we just came from Mobile, and it was accurate. Anyways, so after being insulted, we checked into our hotel room. And and the night
like it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Also, do you have any special like treatment?
Right.
No
and they're
specials.
like, no specials. Go check the website. No, but then the rest of the evening was good. Like we, got dressed up and went to like a nice dinner and then went out for some drinks after. So all's well that ends well.
You didn't have to use a shack washroom and like
no I had
diarrhea.
Like the girls were kind enough to give me my own bedroom with my own bathroom and
birthday treatment.
It was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So very, very nice hotel.
Sounds expensive.
It actually wasn't because it was so last minute. So we basically had to check in on the day. Okay. Yeah. So it was not too bad. So yeah, that was my birthday. I was like, I'm never going to forget it because it just so many things happened on that day.
You smelled bad.
We smelled bad. we saw a tragic accident.
Yeah. Aww.
We checked in and checked out of an Airbnb within 30 minutes, which is, I've never done that before. And then the rest of the trip was pretty relaxing. Like we went to Boracay, tourist island. We did all the tourist things. Went parasailing, which was another height thing that I had to overcome. Have you ever gone parasailing?
Oh, I actually have. Yeah. In Malaysia.
Yeah. So that's really terrifying because you're up in the air, suspended with a parachute. And
I guess so. I mean, I've always viewed that as a pretty chilled out activity.
It was chill, but again, the whole heights thing.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of Korean tourists in Boracay. So much so that the locals there knew how to speak Korean.
Oh,
because they're trying to.
So there's like a thing, they cater to the Korean.
There's a ton of Korean cuisine. And then we did our 48-hour trip back home I think in total,
Yay.
we probably traveled 4 or 5 days.
That's kind of like when I went to South America. Remember when Olivia asked me what was my adventure? My South America trip was like that. I spent a lot of, I'll look up the statistic and I'll share it. But I went to a ton of airports, spent a ton of time in layovers. Because, I'm going to some of these remote places and you had to do a lot of transfers, and I also did like a round trip flight. So then I had to go back to my round trip flight destination and then go back.
That's what happened to us. Like we did a round trip to Bali. And so when we were in the Philippines, we had to like kind of make our way back to Bali.
Ooh, I found it. From my South America trip, it was 25 days on the road. So like I was gone for 25 days, 3 countries, 11 flights, 40 hours in an airplane. 30 hours of layover at an airport, and 9 nights without access to a shower.
Wow. I want to do this now for the trip.
You want to calculate how many hours you spent?
Yeah.
Let me know if it was more than 30, because I spent 30 hours during layovers. It's not a competition, but
Wow. So like without shower. So I guess we were lucky. We had credit cards that allowed us to go to like all the lounges and stuff. So we could shower. And we also, during our long layovers, we would get an Airbnb so that we could actually like have some place to, shower, take a nap, whatever. That was the ending. And then we got home, and now I am severely jet lagged. And that is where I am today. Well,
so jet lagged?
I'm not only jet lagged today because I also had a very late night. But yeah, this whole week I was jet lagged. I was either sleeping 4 hours or I was sleeping 10 hours. Like there was no in between.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to have you back.
Thanks for taking over for the past few weeks, leading the charge on our pod.
Well, I mean, since you're gone, we reached a few milestones, right? We got 1,000 plays all time.
Yes.
What else? We got our first Apple podcast review.
Yes.
Yeah. Wait, because before you left, there was your birthday wish. Your birthday wish was for people to share with at least one friend or give us a rating or review. And
yeah, 1,000 plays, and I think now we're
I shouldn't say the subscriber count, but we're nearing a milestone in the subscriber count too. So once we pass that, we can maybe share it.
Very exciting. Thank you all for your support. Oh, I didn't even mention. Oh my gosh. So we got jellyfish tattoos as a tribute to our
oh my gosh,
trauma bonding experience with getting stung.
Tattoo of a kitten.
Oh my god.
Where's the tattoo?
It's on my wrist.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's funny because the jellyfish obviously has like a cap, so we had to tell the tattoo artists like we don't want it to look like a penis.
Okay. So. I was gonna make a really inappropriate joke, and you can edit this out if you want, but I'm just teasing you here, G. So like, don't take it personally.
Does it look like a?
It doesn't look like a penis, but it looks like sperm.
My friend actually made that joke too, because my friend, I was like, we specifically told the tattoo artist we did not want it to look like a penis, and he's like,
nothing foul.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a penis, it just looks like sperm. Like, okay. It kind of does, right? Swimming.
Yes.
Quite funny.
But it's a good story. Oh, that's so fun. It's like one of those classic cliche bachelorette party kind of thing, like wild night out, hangover part 2, like go get tattoos.
Yeah. I personally wanted to get it because I was like,
whose idea was
such a story. It's such a story. Well, we all kind of like wanted to get matching tattoos, and at first we were going to do like a palm tree, which is, obviously also big part of our trip. And I love palm trees. But when someone mentioned this jellyfish idea, I was just like, I have to do the jellyfish because it's like such a memorable moment in this trip, and it's always going to be like a story.
That is a great story.
Yeah. That wraps up my travel. Sorry that took so long, but that wraps up my travel recap.
Well, it's not just a travel recap. It's how you passed your threshold into the 30s. It's a very memorable way.
Yeah,
we both were traveling for our 30s for our birthday, so that's interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yours was less shitty.
That's very punny.
Yeah. And yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. That's awesome. What are we doing next week?
I think we're gonna have another guest on, right?
Yay, more guests.
Yeah.
I think it's very exciting, fun. Like I like this opportunity to have people on to share their stories of like their life, and I think it's very interesting, just different ways to live life in your 30s.
Yeah, for sure. There's only so much like we can talk about, just the two of us. So it's nice to have share others' perspectives.
Yeah. But I think it was nice today to have a chill episode, just catch up and stuff.
Fun, lighthearted. Yep. Yeah. So I'm back, and looking forward to. Back in 30. Looking forward to recording more podcasts. So
okay, well,
all right, we'll sign off here.
Yeah, going to go take a nap now, or
yep, for sure. All right, bye.
Bye. I really hope you all enjoyed today's conversation. If you did, we'd appreciate if you could take a moment to share our podcast with your friends. Follow us on whichever podcast platform you're using. Give us a rating on Spotify or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. We would also love to learn about you, our amazing audience, and shine a light on your unique journeys. Do you have a story about what helps you thrive in your 30s or challenges you've overcome? Let us know at that30showpod@gmail.com or DM our Instagram, that30showpod. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you have a wonderful week ahead.